Did you know over 60% of first-time clients do not return for a second visit? That is so painful, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's where Maya comes in. Maya is the ultimate marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry. We have a proprietary funnel utilizing special algorithms to help connect the right consumers with the right providers at your business. This means that Maya helps you get higher spending clients you love to work with who stay the long haul. If you want to increase your revenue, increase your client count, increase your average ticket, and increase your new client retention, then you need Maya. Go to joinmaya.com to set up your own personal virtual tour and see why over 500,000 consumers have trusted Maya and the businesses we work with to find their perfect beauty and wellness pro. We promise you will love Maya.
Thank you for joining me. This is Kati Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. It's Thursday. We're together. And today's topic, be resilient. Ooh, do we need this? Do we need to talk about being resilient? What is resilience? It's the capacity to withstand difficulty, to adapt to change, to recover, often stronger and wiser after undergoing stress or adversity or just disruption. Sometimes growth is a need for our resilience because it's disruption. And it's interesting that this has some effect on our bodies. So let me just share. Psychologically, our ability to be resilient is about regulating our emotions, maintaining our perspective, continuing to function under pressure. Biologically, the body and nervous system's capacity to absorb stress and return to balance. If you have good resilience, the body can withstand stress and return to balance. In leadership and business, being resilient is the discipline, your ability to stay disciplined and make clear decisions, staying anchored to your values, keep moving forward through uncertainty, through setbacks or volatility. Here's what resilient isn't. It's not avoiding stress. There is no way you grow without stress. Even good things are going to be stressful. And sometimes the body doesn't know the difference between good and bad stress. It just either can handle it well or struggles. So we're going to get into that. It's not being unbothered. Nothing can bother me. It's like water off my back. We're going to be honest. That's not what this is. And nobody probably truly can handle life like that. And it's not toughing it out, especially in isolation or silence. So what is resilience? It's the practiced ability to, and I say practiced, because you're going to get a whole lifetime of opportunities to be resilient. The ability to adapt, endure, and grow no matter what season you're in. And we're going to get into those seasons because you want to be able to handle pressure, difficulties in any season you're in. And we're going to get into the seasons, but even positive seasons of your life, you want to be able to handle all that comes your way without losing your identity, your energy, ambition, or vision. So let's shift our mindset on this like immediately. If you're waiting for a season of life that does not have stress in it, you are waiting for something that does not exist. We could all agree during some of the best times of our lives, don't we go through some of the hardest challenges as well? Something amazing will happen in your family life and something terrible will be happening at your company, or your company will be going through the best growth and season ever, and something at your home front will be collapsing. So life doesn't happen perfectly all the time. We're always going to be in seasons of stress. But there are different seasons of business, and you might be in a business season of growth or maybe steadiness. It could be a bit of a decline or a straight up drought. And there is no long standing salon or spa owner that has not gone through every single one of these seasons of business. They've all had seasons of success and growth, steadiness, decline, and straight up drought. If they've been in this industry for over 10 years, they will have experienced all of these. So we need to normalize just the pressure and stress that we're going to have. It's not a signal to quit. It's a signal that we're being shaped. So it's not about being tough or let me just hustle, though I think taking action is huge key. We'll get to that. But resilience is about proper alignment, staying disciplined, and really understanding the meaning and purpose you have under pressure. So let's dive in. The 4 seasons of business. First thing is no judgment for each other, no matter what season you're in, because we need to start removing shame and comparison. And I promise you that you will always hear from me about tough things that we've experienced in business, but you'll probably never hear about them in the moment. Part of that is because I need to be mindful of people involved in whatever tough season we might be going through or any stressors or whatnot. But also, I think it's appropriate and mature to reflect on those things so that I can go and properly share and even have the takeaways. So I tend to personally stay low key. I don't publicly share, I might have a couple trusted people I reach out to and say, really challenged right now with this or this scenario, circumstance, situation. But what I don't want is for you to feel shame or the sense of like, I should be this way. And now we're going through this. What will people think of me? What will, if you stay in that shame or guilt pattern or behind closed doors and dealing with things on your own, it's no way to live. We need each other. And B, there is no way to get out of this sooner or with help unless you humble yourself and are willing to let go of that. And by the way, if you're on the other side of in a great season and somebody does share, be gracious. It's easy to judge. It's not easy to forgive. Be somebody who's gracious with others and understand that it is going to be you at some point. I've heard this many times from leaders who say, if you're not in a hard season right now, if you're not going through bad things, hard things, you're about to. Like you're not going to stay. Like we all have storms that we have to endure in life. So if you're not in a storm right now, awesome. The sun is shining. The flowers are blooming. It's beautiful. Enjoy it. And by the way, if you're in a storm, I often think you should enjoy your life just the same because it's one life and there is no circumstantial things in life that should derail your sense of well-being, your joy, your peace, all the things. But we'll get to that. So if you are in a season of growth, this is where revenue is coming in fast and hot. It's like you're blowing up. Decisions are made quickly. You're feeling awesome. You have greater outcomes, profit margin. You have more money to play with to give back to your team. You have bigger bonuses you can offer to your star contributors. Star contributors to the team may not be a performer, but they contribute. You are in an awesome season. The danger that lurks behind the bushes is you're going to potentially outgrow your current systems. If you grow really, really fast, it could break culture down. You lose a sense of control over culture because there's now just way more humans, more, relationship dynamics that are happening that I've seen that. I've been a part of it. Um, that's hard to go through as you grow, especially multi-location. And leadership maturity. So when you grow, you're bringing new people to the table to help be leaders. Not all of them are prepared. Not all of them have the same mindset, the same level of experience. That can be the threat that affects a really positive growth season. Now, you may be in a season of steadiness, which is a great season. This is a season of predictable cash flow, predictable numbers. There's fewer fires to deal with, just quiet wins. And you have this sense of like, gosh, is this too good to be true? I'm just steady. It's like things are predictable. But the danger that lurks here is complacency or boredom, just loss of hunger. This is where we get like, hey, change. Do we need to change? Because things are pretty good right now. But the threat of not changing is you're not preparing for growth. I mean, we should always be preparing for what's next. How do we improve? How do we grow? And even asking ourselves, is there anything that we need to potentially fix soon? Or is there something that we're not seeing right now that needs to be addressed? So a steady season is a really great season to be in. And like every season of business, it doesn't last because especially if you're trying to grow. Now, you may be in a season of decline. That could mean you've had some turnover of team members, which is also attrition or loss of clients, of revenue. Um, this is where you might see less engagement from the team or burnout. One of our superpowers at our salon is that we offer education like nobody does. No other salon in our greater area offers the amount of advanced education or the amount of training and onboarding. Like we are over the top. It's one of our greatest strengths. However, sometimes your weaknesses are your strengths being abused. And what I mean by that is it can get overbearing to attend 2 classes a month for 2 years straight. That can feel like so much heaviness of like, I just need a break. We all need seasons or sabbaticals that are a break from the grind and the hustle. So build that in. Predict, like say, oh my gosh, I see this happening around this time frame with our stylist. So after going hard for 1 full year, we're going to switch you up to just once a month, or we're going to give you 3 months where you have zero and the rest are going to be twice. I mean, you can switch it up, but prepare for that. Otherwise, the danger that is lurking in a decline season is that you become panicked and therefore panic will drive your decisions. Have you ever made terrible decisions because you were freaking out and then you like regret how impulsive you were on pivoting? You might blame people instead of patterns. So this is where I'm bringing up burning people out with education. It's like our greatest thing that we could also turn into people will start to like resent it. And that can become a pattern of like, whoa, we blame like, oh, this person's not bought in anymore. They're not that committed to their, career because they don't know. That's blaming people. Let's look at the patterns here. Anybody might get burnt out from this amount of something that just doesn't seem to have a light at the end of the tunnel. So build it in, be proactive, and look for patterns instead of people. If you're going to look at anybody, look at yourself, right? So that's the number one thing I try to do is what could I do better? What have I done wrong? Are there relationships I need to restore? Are there mistakes I've made I need to own? Everything comes down, especially as the owner, it comes down to you taking ownership and accountability. Things may happen in your business that are not your fault, but guess what? It's your responsibility. And you have to inspire your leaders to help you and the team get to a better place and get out of this season of decline. But you may be even a little bit more nervous because you're in a season of drought. And what does that mean? A season of drought is like cash flow scarcity, like barely make, like if I praise the Lord in heaven, I've never had to worry if we were going to be able to do payroll. That I couldn't even imagine. Now, I've seen people work for companies that were going down, and I've literally seen my husband work at a startup tech company that said to him, "We can't pay you for a while, but we're working on, reformatting things." I think it was a type of bankruptcy that allows you to restructure the company, and then the goal would be to pay you back. He never got paid back. He worked for months for free and never to this day saw $1 from that promise of a company going under. Now, that I couldn't even imagine. I shouldn't even smile at it. Now, that opened the door to him helping me out. He also had his own side hustle. I mean, we were living off, if you knew what we were living off of in our first year of opening our Be Inspired Salon, you would be like, how did you even make it work? I don't know. But we figured out how to make it work, and um, just stayed the course. But if you are in a season of drought, it can take away your energy. It can steal your clarity. And this is a really scary spot to be in, especially, and it's, as owners, I think I smile because it was my own problem. I wouldn't be smiling if I, being responsible for other humans, couldn't provide for them. They entrust me to run a business that when they come to work, they're going to get paid for that. So I could never imagine having a business where I couldn't meet payroll. And yet I know that sometimes salon and spas go through this, and I just can't, I don't know. I would be reaching out to everybody and anybody to help me. What do I do? How do I figure this out? Um, so the danger here is an identity collapse. As an owner or leader, if you're in a season of drought, and your season of drought hopefully is not the payroll issue. It could be like, I have to get a hold of vendors and not pay them for a little bit because we have cash flow problems. Payroll's great. All these other areas, I'm really struggling. And everybody's been in different hard times, especially build out costs are through the roof. Lease agreement costs are through the roof. Everything is very expensive. So this may cause you, when you're in a season of drought, to question your identity in the sense of like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. How could everybody else be doing fine and I am the one loser who can't do it? Like, this is where that shame cycle comes in, that guilt. This is not you, because anybody can lose control. If we think we're in control, one tragedy, one crazy, unexpected, terrible crisis could go down. I mean, look at what happened with COVID. And we could all be stuck in a situation where we're like, do we keep the doors open or not? So if we're never truly in 100% of control, we can only show up and control what we can in the moment. So it's not about, am I going to go through these different seasons? It's when I go through the various seasons of business, what will my response be? That will determine if you prepare yourself and or punish yourself. So what do you do to stay resilient in any season that you're in, or every season, right? It's first off separating facts from feelings. Feelings will fluctuate. I mean, it fluctuates all day long. I start off the day feeling awesome, and then I'll get one email notification and I'll be like, it could derail me if I let it. I've gotten to a really good spot where I do not let that happen to me, because it used to derail me physically. I felt weak, mentally, emotionally, all of it. So resilience is not allowing feelings to dictate decisions. You are, how do I put it like this? Never make a permanent decision based on short-term emotions. Never make a permanent decision based on short-term emotions. And I think the short term is getting shorter for especially the newer generation, because look at our attention span. Look at social media. I mean, your swipe time, how long you're willing to watch a video. If it's more than 45 seconds, we struggle probably. So, what used to feel like a short season to most people, I mean, if things don't go well for a month straight, do you stick it out? What about a year? Do you give it a year? What does short term mean to you? So, never make a short term or never make a long term decision based on your short term emotions. But that short term, I would check yourself and what you believe that that should be or is reasonable. Because here's the thing, here's why I bring it up. People give up way too soon. Let's say you're working on a weight loss goal right now or trying to get super fit. You might be putting it in 5 days a week for 3 months straight, and you're like, I'm not seeing the results. What's going to happen if you stop? Probably going to put on some weight and then some. The average person who diets puts on 3 pounds. So there is no world in which, if you really want something, don't quit. You will eventually get to where you want to be if you simply stop giving up. I think we get too thrown off too easily, too quickly. Another way that leaders stay resilient, no matter their season, is they are anchored to their identity, not the outcomes. Revenue is feedback. It has nothing to do with your self-worth, your worth as a leader. Numbers tell you where you're at, not who you are. Let me say that again. The numbers tell you where you're at, not who you are. The strongest leaders don't collapse when the numbers dip, and they don't inflate when they spike. Now I struggle with that because you want to celebrate wins. We're doing awesome. We're killing it. Da, da, da. Just, enjoy it while it's there, but preventing the prideful part, because pride comes before the fall, right? So I've definitely struggled with that. Resilient leaders choose to be responsible without self-punishment. If something goes wrong, do not screw yourself over. Do not dig yourself into a deeper pit. Do not self-sabotage. I used to eat my feelings. I used to turn to food for comfort, and then it made my life even worse. And I was even more unhealthy and even more obese and even more lethargic. So being resilient is understanding that your circumstances don't have to shape your internal joy, peace, the way you love, the way you show up. Do not allow it to mess with your mindset and the decisions you make. Instead, take ownership of where you're at, because shame is going to destroy any momentum that you put forth. And resilience is going to look different in every single season. If you're in a season of growth, this is the opportunity to protect your culture while you're expanding. So the question to ask yourself, if you are in a season of growth, is what breaks if we keep growing like this? I'll tell you, one thing that we did is during COVID, we went to being closed at 7 p.m. We used to be open until 9 p.m. Well, then everybody stays a little late if they needed to for clients and whatnot. And it partly had to do with we just don't feel as safe being open that late anymore. I mean, even our local mall, I think, is only open till 8. So we were like, we went as bold as 7, and we felt like we could, and then we didn't go back. Sometimes when you make these changes, it's hard to go back because it's like, who's going to want to work even later? They already feel like, 7, there's a mindset thing that happens with that. Well, the other way we kind of probably didn't make a good decision is every owner under the sun wanted to give all of their stylists autonomy on their schedules. So did we. We said, okay, you're brand new. We want you to just at least work one closing shift in the week, which meant you work till 7. So every other night, if you want to be done by 2 p.m., 4 p.m., whatever else, fine. And then we're open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we realize like people are struggling with compensation if they're not fully booked. Whose fault is it? Well, they look to the company. Well, shoot, I'm not busy. I wish I was busier. And you're like, I wish that you would work 2 more nights till 7, because if you did, you would be booked and you would be making money. But then they're like, wait, no, I don't want to work. So you kind of shot yourself in the foot by allowing this great perk that doesn't actually help the team. And even we used to show people way back in the day before we used everything digital. We went to technology, which automates everything. It's great. There's nothing manual. They can log into QuickBooks and see payroll, but payroll just shows them what they're going to get paid on their paycheck. It does not break down how much does this mean you made per hour that you took guests. We used to send that to ourselves forever ago, like years and years ago, in an email. Every payroll period would be like, I'm so happy to report that you average $26.80 per hour. You know what I mean? And like that would be so cool for them to see. Now people don't have any clue. And that's our own fault. We're going back to that. We're going to go back to that because that was one of those things. What breaks if we keep growing? So we kept growing. We needed to change to a digital payroll system. But that special little thing we did that created that value in the mind of our team went away. So now, if they don't sit down and figure out their own numbers, which most people don't, they just have this sense of like, this isn't that as much of a payroll. And then they forget like, oh, it was a holiday week. So I only worked 4 days in the last 2 weeks. So therefore, so that's why we like to show them, hey, when you were working this last payroll period, you put in this many hours. That means you averaged this amount per hour. And I think it's really powerful. And it's one of those mistakes. So take a look at that. What breaks if you keep growing like this? If you're in a season of steadiness, you're going to be in preparation mode for the next wave. How do we grow? How do we go from being steady, which is awesome, to some major growth? And you want to stay hungry without burning down stability. You have really stable things in place. So this is where we've changed, and sometimes not for the better. Oh, now that we're like this, we're going to do this great new thing. Well, if that great new thing breaks down stability, that is not the great new thing to do. So your question is, what muscle are we not using right now? So you're steady, you want to grow. How can you flex? How can you grow without breaking down stability? If you're in a season of decline, this is like the come to Jesus, to be honest with yourself, be humble. And before you go chasing trends, which I see all the time, owners feeling desperate, feeling just overly discouraged over it. It's like a hamster wheel. We build them up, they leave. We build them up, they leave. And so instead of chasing wild trends that you don't have true predictability on, fix your foundations. What cracks are in the foundation that you may not see? What are the cracks in your foundation? And is there anything that worked before you abandoned it too early? Remember we talked about giving up too quick? Is there anything that you gave up on without giving it its true time frame needed to see? Like, for example, let's say you're doing something new with marketing. Give it a year. Give it a full 12 months to see it play out and see the overall return on investment. Then compare it to all your other efforts. How does it fare? This is where facts have to be more important than feelings. If you're in a season of drought, keep your routines even when results are absent. So you can't look for the immediate gratification here, even though it's like you feel like you have to. Be faithful and disciplined and stick to your routines, because small, consistent actions will win out here. You need to ask yourself, What would I do today if I trusted this season was temporary? If you're in a drought right now, you need to have faith. Everybody who is willing to stick it out will make it through a storm. What would you do today if you trusted that this season is only temporary? So internally, resilience, it's revealed during times of pressure because stress will expose any weak boundaries you really have. If your vision is unclear for your business, or if there's any values that are misaligned in your business. So as leaders, you must manage your mindset and manage your emotions. Get help. Find somebody trustworthy that actually wants to see you win and have them be a sounding board to keep you grounded during this time. Guard what you allow in. I don't watch, there are only certain leadership podcasts I will listen to or educational videos I'll watch because I don't just want to allow any use of my time. If it's going to be my time that's on the table, which is very valuable, and it is for you too, your time is your most valuable asset. So what do you allow into your life, in front of your face, into your eyes, into your ears, and everything? Cannot, you have to guard it. And choose disciplined thoughts over dramatic narratives. We come up, I don't know if it's because we're creatives, but some of the stories we're telling ourselves that we come up with out of wild air, thin air, it's like that is wildly dramatic. So stick to disciplined thoughts. You have to tell yourself, I am only going to think of things that are pure, true, excellent, awesome. Like, this is where writing down gratitudes every day is important. Writing down the facts, keeping your mindset in check is going to be huge for you. Your team, by the way, they don't need perfection from you, but they do need somebody regulated, grounded, and consistent. If you are just all over the place, and even myself, I'm embarrassed. Like, I'll show up sometimes very insecure. That's a turnoff. It is unattractive. People want to follow people that are like, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to take ownership, accountability. We're going to talk through things that I need to take responsibility for. I'm going to regulate my emotions. I'm going to stay consistent. That's the kind of leader. It's like, gosh, this is a hard thing and you're handling it great, the best you can. And you're being honest that it's not easy. We can see that and we're here for it. Reframing your pain as preparation. So your purpose is to inspire without minimizing the hardship that you're enduring. If you're in a season of drought or that decline, you don't need to minimize that is a hard thing, but still find ways to inspire hope. And it has to start with you. What are you hopeful for? What are you hoping in? And what gets you up and lit every single day? Keep that going. Your team needs it. Every season is training you for the future version of yourself. Think about that. Think about the hard things you went through, let's say 5 years ago. Who are you now? What have you done differently? Like, that needed to happen in order to shape you and the version of you that you are today. So when you're in a season of growth, commit to expanding your leadership. When you're in a season of steadiness, steward everything well. Your finances, your other leaders, your team, like, be a good steward of the things that you have in this good time. When things are in decline, be willing to humble yourself and take full accountability. Tell yourself the truth. And then in the seasons of drought, you have to have faith, friends. You have to find your faith and endurance because you have to believe that you are going to get through this storm as you always have in the past. There's always a solution to be found. Resilience is trusting that nothing you're walking through is wasted, even when you don't see the return yet. So sometimes you cannot control the season you're in, but you do control your response to whatever you're going through. And resilience isn't something that you have or you don't have, it's something you practice every single day. So, whatever season you're in, don't quit. Let it build you, let it teach you, and let it prepare you for what's next. Friends, if you appreciate this platform, please take a moment, leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening so that more people like yourself will discover Beyond the Technique, where we're here to change the way that you are supported in your business. Until next time, have an awesome day and stay strong.